Hello, this is the Radical Coach, broadcasted on a boat called Scarlet. It's a full moon tonight, and we're alone on deck. The boat is anchored. The river is soft. Imagine watching the reflection of the moon on the water, on the river. Nothing else. No boats, no land, no movement. The sound of the light river breeze enters your ears, and that's all you can hear. Calm. And the boat creates an island where we can begin to work together on the riverbank. And I want you to imagine this scene. Draw me away from the crowds and your daily stresses, calming your mind down to a slower pace for radical coaching to begin. So let's get radical. This vlog is about trying to change another person. I think we've all got a certificate and a medal in doing this, aren't we? We're all guilty of doing it. We even do it without realising that we're doing it. I did a long time ago when I went to Relate, which is for couples. And I expected the counsellor to change my partner for me. And when that didn't happen, it left me feeling angry, really angry, and helpless. So I personally know that you can spend a lot of time and money and energy in therapy only to stay stuck in your own pain. It's ridiculous. So trying to change another person can be a daily habit that causes you harm, really you harm, especially those around you. So chances are you have people in your life whose behaviour you really would like to change. Let's think about that for a second. Who do you want to change? Who have you been trying to change? Is it your romantic partner? Maybe you want to change your parents. Maybe you want to change your kids. But there's only so much you can do. You can guide and you can give reassurance and you can be kind and you can be helpful. But you can't change them. You're not happy when you're trying to change another person. And you really can't expect anything to change while you're trying to change them. So people bother us, don't they? People bother our sense of well-being. And we've got to try and identify and work out where in our lives are we trying to change another person. So you could try and change the person's behaviour or the situation into something you think is right, or at least something that will not bother you. That's quite arrogant, don't you think? Are you that perfect that you want someone to be walking around like a clone of you? I don't think you do, really, deep down, because when you first met someone, they were all right as they were. It's only as the relationships go on. I mean, this happens, obviously it happens with our children, because we want them to be clones like us. Disaster. But it does happen an awful lot in relationships when the honeymoon 3 to 6 month period is over. And you can put in so much time and so much energy into this one. It's so big. How much time and energy have you done doing this to other people? I really want you to let me know if you've succeeded. Give me a call. I haven't met anyone yet who successfully managed to do this without causing a wedge between you and them. Okay? So let me give examples. When you spend more time with me, I'll be nicer to you. Or you might not say it, but that's what you're thinking. When you stop going out so much, I'll love you more. When you do your homework without me nagging, you'll gain my approval. You might not say gain my approval, but they know on an unconscious level what you mean by your facial expressions, your mood swings. When do you do what I want you to do, I'll accept you. It's not your job to change another person. So ask yourself, do you really like yourself that much? Chances are you don't. Otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this, would you? Do you really, 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 really want someone to be like you? As I've said before. And trying to change another person, you're using manipulation and heavy criticism. And do you find that people move away from you emotionally and physically? They might go out more, keep away from you more, come in later. It's good to write this down in your journal. You know, what happens when you're trying to change another person? What happens to their behaviour? And if you are trying to change someone, could you just stop doing it now? Become more consciously aware now. The only person to change is you. And the only person that can do that now is you. So what are you waiting for? Once you start realising that it's a real hopeless pastime, it's a disaster, honestly. Once you realise this, great things will begin to happen to you. You will begin attracting emotionally healthy people into your life. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying to change a situation that we don't like. I understand that. But remember that that situation is not a person. And we all need to try and change what's not working if we can. But this vlog is about how to make you more skillful in changing yourself. How you can fit in better. If things are not successful, how can you change them? Because trying to change another causes everybody pain. And this pain actually makes you feel really bad about yourself when you think about it. Because you're expecting yourself to be perfect. That's a bit of a hard one, isn't it, to be perfect? There's no such thing as perfect. And it will mess up your confidence day by day. And it will affect your quality of life. Especially when you go to bed at night and you can't, it's whizzing round and you can't rest because you're thinking about how you haven't changed something or someone. So I'm not suggesting that you're to blame for anything. And I'm really not suggesting that you search for fault in yourself. That's just a negative thing to do. But this step in trying to understand, not trying to change another person, gives us freedom from suffering, and it stops us blaming, because blaming is such a bad thing to do. So you need to ask yourself questions of, you know, when you're with someone and you immediately think, oh, I'm trying to change them. You need to journal that. Maybe not at that time, when you get a moment. And then you need to sort of analyse, what is it about this situation or this person that, you know, I need to work on myself to change. Because I've been a blamer for years. You know, it was always somebody else's problem, someone's fault. And the dialogue never moved much further than that. So for years, I tried to change them, encouraging them so I wouldn't suffer. And you're surrounded by blame, you know. Blame and trying to change the other person go very well together, don't they? So here's an exercise that I want you to see will help promote your own self-acceptance. It encourages you to embrace yourself just as we are, rather than trying to compete or trying to be perfect. So in your journal, what I'd like you to do is write down all the people you've tried to change. There could be one, there could be 5, there could be many. So I want you to take time to think about this. All the people that you've tried to change. From your home life to your friends, to social life, to your family. And give each person a number. So if you haven't been really trying to change someone, it'll be sort of 7, 8, 9, 10, because they're pretty cool as they are. But if it's a lower number, then anything below 6, there's work to be done on you. All right, so write their names down, give them a number, be honest. Don't show this work to anybody else. As I've said before, it dilutes it. And take your time in doing this exercise. And don't overthink it, all right? Please don't overthink it, because I don't want you bringing guilt into this particular exercise. So don't judge yourself or other people. Just be honest, that's it, and be truthful. They're the names, that's the number I'm trying to change them by. And you need to reflect on that, and then you need to think of things that you could be doing more positively, where, you know, if you saw that person for the first time, you wouldn't have these grudges. If you saw them in a light that is to be grateful, you wouldn't want to change them. So what I'd like to do now, that's your journal work. If you have time, I'd like you to do a meditation. If you can't do it now, you can always go back to it, that's fine. But I'd like you to make time now. So I want you to sit comfortably in an upright chair. I tend not to lay down because when I do I fall asleep. Not while driving. And I want you to start tuning into your breathing. And I want you to close your eyes. Focusing on your breathing. Breathe in for 5. Hold for 5. Breathe out for 5. Breathe in for 5. Hold for 5. Breathe out for 5. And I want you to imagine that you're in front of a mirror, looking at yourself. Don't criticise what you see. You're not perfect, but why should you be? And as you look in that mirror, I want you to see yourself with reasonable expectations. No judging. What does that feel like? It might be hard for you to do. But just stay in this moment, in this meditation. What does it feel like? And I want you to say to your reflection, I am fine, just as I am. I am fine, just as I am. Keep repeating this phrase while visualizing yourself in the mirror. I am fine, just as I am. I am fine, just as I am. I am fine, just as I am. And when you're ready, I want you to open your eyes and give yourself a hug. Put your arms around yourself. And this is a small exercise, but very powerful. And try this exercise in the morning and then again in the evening. Over the days, you will gradually feel a stronger connection with yourself. And you can also try this exercise and phrase while looking at yourself as an actual reflection in a mirror, morning and evening. I am fine, just as I am. I am fine, just as I am. And mirror work is very, very powerful. When you start doing mirror work, you need to look in the mirror into your own eyes. And it can be quite difficult to start with and quite painful. So you might prefer to do the meditation till you get used to it. But if you can begin to do mirror work, it's a very, very positive thing to do. And if you look up on the internet, Louise Hay, and put in mirror work, really good examples will come up. Her work is absolutely excellent, and I recommend either buying some of her books, or you can download them online, or you can just listen. She's very, very good, and she calls them affirmations. So we'll be doing more affirmation work as we go along. But for this exercise, when we begin to understand and physically look in the mirror and say these words and do the meditation, it slowly will help us begin to see that it's madness trying to change somebody else. It is absolute madness. Good luck if you can try it, but I've never met anyone that has done it yet. But working on ourselves is powerful, and we can do it now. We don't have to wait. We don't have to wait for somebody else to do anything. When we are more happy and content with ourselves, we have less need to change another person. So until next time.